Hello. How does indifference affect individuals as a society? Well, this is the Holocaust, Auschwitz. This is where it all began. Not all began, but the biggest death camp ever created. This one was the one that killed everyone, was just the worst place in the world. And the Nazis didn't care. That's how indifference affected the Jews. They didn't care what happened to them. They just wanted them dead because they thought that Hitler was right. They thought that they needed to die. I have built this to show for my project how indifference it affects people. I have four quotes chosen out as example of how it does. The first one, the Jews. There are about 100 Jews in each car, and it was terrible conditions. And when they got here, the Jews had said, "Look, Jews, look. Look through the window, the flames." The flames were indicating the massive crematorium gas chamber type thing that was going on. And when that happened, they were terrified, and they were still bullied and killed by the Nazis. As his dad, as Ellie's dad had said on page 30, humanity is not concerned with us. He was saying no one cares for them. No one cares what was happening. This is one of the main buildings that I had made. Now this is where a lot of the bad decisions came into play. The Nazis gathered up all the Jews and had come and said, women to the left, men to the right. Either that or the other way around. But the women would come to the gas chamber, and the men would come here, living these camps and work to be free. Work sets you free, as the saying had said. And the women would go to the gas chamber. The women and children would come to the gas chamber, where they would be stripped down and go into a little chamber that was basically a death chamber. They just went in there expecting to get like a shower, while these Nazis stayed back in their little protective place and gassed them by pushing levers and just killing them. And once they did that, they would gather the body and they would force other Jews to come and put the bodies in the crematorium. Now, if that's not enough to show how indifferent the Nazis were to the Jews, if you remember on page 23, when they were on the train, the woman was screaming of the fire, always the fire, and they thought she was insane until they had came and seen the smoke rising from the crematorium. That's how indifference affects society. Just one person being indifferent can affect everyone to make a place like this such a horrible place full of death that marks nothing but terror in its wake. This is Auschwitz 1. My name is Caleb. and this is my communications project.